Alright guys, welcome back to Daily Drift, and if you don't know, I got a new car. Can you guess what it is? So guys, today I'm going to take this out on the road, and we're going to see basically what's wrong with this car, what's cool about this car, and yeah, just tell you my impressions of it. Let's do it. Number one, it doesn't like to start unless you hit the gas. But once it gets going, it's perfectly fine. I've got a few issues with the car. I know exactly what they are pretty much. I still have quite a few things that I need to figure out, but we'll go and figure that out. So the big thing about this car is it's drivable. I'm driving it right now. That's a huge improvement compared to where it was with the last vehicle. So with this car, the biggest thing that I've noticed is one, right there, it doesn't like going into first gear. It doesn't like going into any gear really, and I think that what it is the clutch potentially, but luckily the guy that I bought the car from threw in a clutch. He also threw in some stuff to rebuild the shifter, because the shifter is sloppy. It could be the linkage, it could be the bushings, it could be any number of things. So the shifter and the clutch are probably the two biggest issues with this car right now. But driving down the road, it feels like a tank. Like, this thing feels strong. Like, it feels solid. I'm not used to driving little cars that don't feel like they're gonna fall apart. So far, in the time that I've had this car, I absolutely love it. I can see why people like these things. I've always liked the E36s just because the way that they looked, the way that they sounded, I've always liked them. I used to know this guy that had one. And when I was about 12 years old, I think, was when I saw my first BMW, and I was like, damn, that's nice. So I was like, all right, well, one day I'd like to get one, but I was always told, you know, oh, Euro cars, there's all these problems, and they're difficult to work on, and all that. It's not exactly true. I mean, it's not exactly not true, but these cars are getting more and more affordable, and that's what I like about it. So I found this one for a steal. I got this car for $1,700. Now, that was after I talked the guy down. But let me tell you what, he threw in so many spare parts. I could have got it for way less, but he threw in so many spare parts, it was ridiculous. I've got all the parts to replace for the check engine codes that we have. I have literally all the parts that I need to fix almost anything on this car. There's all kinds of stuff done with this car. You can tell that it's been taken care of. There we go, we got first gear there. Look at that. There's this weird sound it makes when you hear that? There's a weird sound in the steering wheel. Okay, so I'm gonna show you real quick what I hate about this car. Get ready for it. Ugh. This exhaust is terrible. Listen to it, it just buzzes. It's like bees in heat. It's just not good. So yeah, so that's my number one thing. Look at that, even the window motor works. Awesome. This clutch issue, if I give it gas and I try to like really get on it, it just slips, and it's terrible. So that's why I think it's the clutch, but it could be that little valve if it has one on it. But we won't know till we get under it. That's gonna be for a later day. Okay, so goals for this car. So number one, I want to be able to drift it. So I want to be able to use this car and actually have it drivable, because like if you guys remember the RX-8, rest in peace, we couldn't get that thing to where we could drive it and actually race it consistently or do anything with it, and it just wasn't reliable, it wasn't working. I tried about a million different things to get that thing going. So this thing's already ahead of it in the fact that I'm driving it right now. I can drive it, it's not overheating, the temperature's fine, like it's got a few issues, and I can't clutch kick it or anything because the clutch is bad, but we have a new clutch, so no, it's a non-issue. And then hopefully once all the check engine codes are gone, it should be pretty good. But even right now, even with it running kind of it's still awesome. Like, this car feels good, the seats are comfortable, they're power, they even have heat. Like, this is 1996 and this thing has heated seats. Like, now it is the IS model, so maybe that's why it's got like a few extra options and stuff. It even has traction control, which I'm not a fan of, but for 96, that's insane. Like that's really good. Well, so far, first impressions are I really like this car a lot, and we have a lot planned for it. Woo. Okay, so it doesn't. That one was okay. Oh, there it goes, slipping again. I really like driving this thing. Dude, this thing gets up and goes. Like, for how old it is, this is actually really good. So it's a pretty beefy motor. Like, it's not bad. Now, it's got a lot of miles. This thing's got a ton of miles. We're talking, looking at it right now, 269,000 miles. So it's got a lot of mileage, but I think a lot of it was highway miles. Oh, you hear that? Listen. Not sure what that sound is, but that's another one of the little issues with the car. It's just a little one, nothing major. The steering feels a little heavy, and I think it might just be the power steering pump's kind of old. We're gonna stick to our plan and keep things as simple as possible at first, and we're gonna just run it stock. We're gonna try to get a baseline for the car and see how it handles. Just get it tuned out to where it runs, drives, starts up every single time with no issues. Once we have that solved, we might add some angle to it and maybe a handbrake. But that's about the extent of the mods that I want to do to this car. I just want it to be a nice, reliable, oh, see? There we go. Sometimes there's trouble getting it, there we go. Sometimes there's trouble getting it in first gear, so that's definitely a big issue. So, but we got the parts to fix it, so we're good. Ah, there we are. Okay, so here's the test. First, put the clutch down, and then what we're gonna do is, okay, so you can see it's not wanting to go in, so the idea is we shut the car off, and if it slides into gear, that might be the issue. And it's not. So what that means is it may be just a linkage issue. I got the radio, and then I was like, man, it doesn't really work. I turn it on, I'm not gonna turn it on here. But the speakers kept blowing in and out, and then I pulled it out and noticed, oh, that's why. They're just literally electrical taped together. Like, it's pretty terrible. Yeah, so we're gonna have to fix that wiring job. So guys, I wanna go through here and just see what all's left in here from the previous owner. Just to see what we can find, because you never know with these things. It's always fun seeing, like, yeah, the RX-7 we found freaking like dime bags, and like it looked like the guy was like a drug dealer. There was like blood all over the seat. It was pretty bad. So hopefully this one, you never know, we might find something interesting. I don't know. So let's see what we can find. So guys, check this out. I was going in here, look at this. This person paid literally $700 for this shitty ass exhaust. Can you believe that? Like, what the hell? Who pays that much money for exhaust that sounds this bad? That's crazy. I'm kind of glad I got that receipt though. I wonder if there's a story behind this feather. That's kind of weird to find a feather inside a car. That, and then this is really cool though. This is the oil filter removal tool. It's pretty sweet that that's still there. Not really sure what this is. A couple other random little things, but for the most part, this car is really clean. And a nice new battery, 417. Well, it's not 100% new, but still, that's pretty sweet. Oh, look at this. It still has the tool thing up here. Look at that. It actually has like a set of tools. That is really cool. That's awesome. Alright guys, so it's probably windy out, so it might be kind of hard to hear. But take a look at all the spare parts that came with this car. This is crazy. So, he gave us the original radio, just in case if I wanted to put that back. We got a spare thermostat, a brand new water pump. We got an oil air separator. We got radiator hoses. We got a new clutch. We got I think it's supposed to be an M3 or a Mach M3 bumper of some sort. I don't know. New air filter, even though it doesn't go with the car. I guess that Austin could use that. This is a new cover for the armrest, since the one that's on there is kind of messed up. New brake pads. a tool to do the clutch fan, I guess, whenever we would do the water pump and stuff. Some RTV, a Canon oil filter, light bulbs, brake fluid. Like, look at all this. New hose for the oil separator. Some sort of shifter linkage. I don't know what that's for, but we got it. A shifter bushing and the clips. It's pretty sweet. So all in all, I'd say this was a really good deal. I don't know what's with this Texas weather. It got cold all of a sudden, and here it is, April. Like, I don't know what the hell this is all about. But anyway, so I came in the car because I didn't want to do this outside because you probably couldn't even hear me. I hope you guys are as excited as I am to get started on this thing and see just what we can do with it. Like, this is going to be a fun build. We're not going to do anything too crazy because we want to keep it as simple as possible and reliable as possible. So no turbos, no crazy engine work, nothing like that. Like, we're just going to keep it. Engine's fine the way it is, makes plenty of power. It even has an LSD, so we don't even need to weld the diff. It's fine. Like, yeah, so this thing has, like, everything that we want. Set up really well. It was dirt cheap, like, comparatively. $1,700 running, driving, plus all those spare parts. Like, did you see those spare parts? Like, those spare parts alone, there's probably at least $1,000 worth of parts. So, yeah, I'm ecstatic to get started with this thing. So I'm really excited about this, guys. So if you are, smash that like button. If you haven't already, consider subscribing because, man, we got a lot of crazy builds coming. So we'll see y'all in the next one. And just remember, keep drifting simple. I'm so happy watching, I'm mesmerized by these eyes. I'm so happy watching, I'm mesmerized by these eyes. I'm so happy.